Good morning. Feeling like you're under attack is not an uncommon experience, whether that's from temptation or circumstances which seemingly are arrayed against you. Could be at work, could be in your house. You also could have, you're thinking about like even little kids who in school who are bullied, who feel like there are kids at school who really want to see not good things happen to them. And we experience this reality in the life first of Jeremiah and then of Jesus. This awareness that life has these moments, and fortunately they tend to be seasons where we are sort of overwhelmed by the array of attackers against us, be they persons or situations or temptations. And inside of that drama, it's important because it can really just overwhelm and push us towards despair, which is in a real way the only major danger of being a Christian, like giving up hope. All is lost. I'm done. And so what do we do? Among the options of what we do, and I think it's important, this is an important one, is to sort of review the data of the truth that we've lived in Christ. Like, what has he shown us? How has he shown us his face? How has he loved us? How has he been there in prior crises? Obviously, if you're an 8-year-old kid in school being tortured by bullies, that's maybe not as realistic as an adult. And it's almost good to have written down those seasons of blessing, to remember what I've lived, or in the case of not simply what we've lived, but what we've seen other people live, the miracles that have happened in their lives, what they've seen, so that we experience Christ, this faith of ours as the psalmist does. I love you, O Lord, my strength, my rock, my fortress, my deliverer, my shield, the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Praise be the Lord, I exclaim, and I am safe from my enemies. The breakers of death surged round about me. I don't know about you, my power went out twice this morning. This wind is fierce. Imagine like all the against us that is coming after us. So in my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. So remembering, clinging to him as our rock, and then acknowledging the distress. I'm drowning. Remember at the end of ran that marathon the day this church was dedicated in May of 2010. And I was at the last, about to run down the hill to finish the last leg. And there was a little check-in there. I was probably drinking some water or whatever. And I was not yet a deacon. Father Freedy was there because he was doing like 4 miles compared to my 26.2. Just, anyway. And he's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm dying. Remember? And I think fortunately the last 5 or whatever miles were basically a downhill run into the Strip District, which were pretty, it's just my body was like done. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this to me? My body speaking to me. But like that's a prayer if it's not spoken to Father Freedy, right? Like if it's an acknowledgement of the heart in the face of what we're experiencing. So especially as we go through these last 7-8 days, these last week of Lent, if we're in a place of distress, or we know people who are, really want to be uniting that to the Lord with great expectation of not his salvation. How that looks, we have to be open. Ask for the grace to be open to how that looks, because we can't sort of define what salvation looks like in a situation. But salvation we will receive. From his temple, he heard my voice, and my cry to him reached his ears. In my distress, I called upon the Lord, and he heard my voice.